99.9 Punk World Radio FM. You guys already know what time it is. And right here, we are joined by San Diego, California zone. That's right. We got PunchCard right here, right now, live on the Canadian airwaves. Guys, how are you three doing tonight?
Awesome.
Yeah, doing great, man. Thanks for having us. This is
Hey,
awesome.
man, you're most certainly welcome. Thank you for giving not only myself, but the radio station airways a bit of your Sunday night. I hope you guys are getting some relatively better weather out there in San Diego than we are down here in Canada.
I would imagine it's probably warmer here, but it's been raining actually these past few days. So the sun came out today, though. Can't complain. So.
But I do know you guys are very busy individuals, so of course I'm not going to take you away from your evening. But I got to take you back 19 years ago, 2006, out there in sunny San Diego, where you three actually came together to form this band now known to the world as PunchCard. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us the story behind this iconic band, and of course, how did you three first meet and form PunchCard originally?
Take it away.
Oh man,
you're the longest member.
Yeah,
standing member.
I guess I am. We'll try to give you the condensed version because it's somewhat of a long story. But we're all originally from the San Francisco Bay Area, oddly, but we moved. Obviously, we've been here for some of us more than 20 years, so we consider ourselves San Diegans. But the band formed when I moved here in 2006. Johnny, our drummer, he was already living here. I showed up, and within 2 weeks, he's like, "Hey, let's start a band." And I had no interest at the time. I was done playing in bands. I'd played in bands before, but I thought it was all over for me. So I said, "What the hell?" and did it. And we started practicing in his garage at that point, and we had a couple different bassists played before Mike, because my brother joined about a year later, and things kind of we have had lineup changes in between. Then we were a 4-piece when we originally started in 2006. Johnny was actually playing the guitar at that time. We had a different drummer up until a certain point, and then Johnny had left the band, and we were a 3-piece then. Then that drummer quit. And we thought we were going to be done, and that was like 2009 or 2010. We thought that was it. And Johnny's like, "Hey, I want to play drums. I could play drums in your band," and he did.
I think you said that you played drums in high school. I'm like,
okay, that was a
lie. Good.
That was a lie.
Yeah, it's not really. He wasn't really a drummer.
I played drums like one time, and I never know. Whenever the drummer was gone, I would go play drums. So, but yeah, that was.
So needless to say, that was like 2010. So it took us about 15 years to get good. So, that's where we're at today. Over those next 15 years, we actually got a lot better. So.
And I got to say, even if you haven't played drums, I mean, at the end of the day, every drummer has had to at least start at the beginning. So, I mean, you picked it up, you self-taught, and now look at you now, man.
Yeah.
So, like,
big ups to all the local drummers that gave me the inspiration.
And also, Independence Day, July 4th, 2010, you guys actually released a killer 11-track album titled Over It. Looking back on that record, can you actually tell us a bit more about this classic project within your band's history?
Yeah, so that album he was not the drummer in that album. So it was
or the guitar.
Or the guitarist. It was me and my brother, and then we had a different drummer at the time. I know we had a lot. We actually, some of the riffs on that album were from him. So we stole some of his guitar riffs and still recorded the album anyway, even though some of the songs were his. But yeah, we gosh, this was so long ago. I don't even really remember too much about why or when we decided to record. We just had a bunch of songs that we wanted to put together and make an album out of, just so they were permanent and forever. And I guess we went to where'd you guys record? We recorded it in a place. Well, for those that don't know, it's in Santee, California, which is in East County, San Diego, out here. But I don't even remember what the studio name was, to be honest. But yeah, we did 11 songs in 3 days, and we knocked it all out pretty quickly. But that's it. There's not a great story to that one because I actually don't remember a lot of it, to be quite honest.
It was next at the POD, this place.
Oh, there you go.
That's true.
I knew there was some
kind of little thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's understandable as well. I mean, it is 15 years ago, but Speaking of the fact of being 15 years ago, I do know obviously different members were on this record, but do you guys have any plans to kind of like recreate it or re-release this as a 15th anniversary edition at some point this year?
Well, bam.
I,
Look at that.
I always say it's great to go back into the repertoire and take them out and see, because everybody changes styles or like develops as they're going. 15 years is a long time. It'd be fun to go play those songs and see where they would go today. So no, there's no plans for that, but yeah,
Maybe we'll
pretty
talk
cool.
to Felony Records.
Shit.
Re-release.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know.
There you go.
And I got to say, the track technologically declined was actually my favorite joint. I mean, I like the song, but clearly I can't say the damn name.
It's okay. I'm not gonna try.
But also as well, I got to say, because I know I don't want to make this all about records, but 3 years later, you guys actually released the Redundancy Department of Redundancy, and I got to just dig into this album because not only is it a very clever name to a record, it's also a phenomenal record as well. I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about this record, and of course, is it actually still available to be streamed or purchased today in 2025?
Gosh,
Do you guys remember
That was your first.
it was
album?
yeah.
That was my first album as a drummer. That recording. We recorded it in a was it like a karate dojo or something like that?
Was it?
Not quite. Not quite.
I just remember there was mirrors all over the
It
place.
wasn't. It was just a music
Oh,
rehearsal.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
a rehearsal
okay.
space.
All right. Well, anyways, I thought it was cooler. I thought it was a karate dojo.
It was.
But anyways, it was the first venture of drumming on that, so it was a little nerve wracking. But so it's all heart on that one and not very much skill. But I think it's a little cool collection of songs and it showcases.
We do still
Where we
play
were.
the Costas one is on that.
We played that. Yeah, we played a couple songs from that album. Redundancy. We
Uh,
play.
uh,
Redundancy. We play.
I don't know. Is it available anywhere? I don't know. We only had copies of it,
I
right?
think you could stream it on Spotify. I think.
And Bandcamp, right?
I think it's not.
No,
on,
it's on Spit. Oh, it's not on.
It's not on Bandcamp, I don't think, but I think you could still stream it on Spotify. But that's it. There's no sales involved with something that old. It's not really a full production. It's the cool thing about it is that it's just raw. It's raw songs that we all made quickly and together, and it's kind of like the first hint of how PunchCard is today. So, yeah, it's kind of a cool album just for that matter.
And also jumping right ahead in the timeline, because like I said, I don't want to make this all about albums. I do know you guys have some phenomenal records out there. But if people don't know your guys' records, I definitely suggest just go through Spotify, check out the older ones. All of them are phenomenal. But you guys also had the opportunity to share the stage story with another phenomenal band by the name of Pulley, December 26th last year at the Holding Company. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about being able to share the stage with legendary band Pulley. And of course, did you get the opportunity to kick it with them before or after your guys' performance?
We hung out with them a little bit at the merch booth and just said, gave them the kudos and let them know, especially Scott and all that because he's such a great singer and everything like that. And yeah, playing with them is just great. It's kind of crazy to play a set and then go rock out to a band that you've been listening to for like 30 years. So it was very cool.
Yeah, and I got to say, Scott is definitely one of the most talented individuals, man. I think he owned a skateboarding company at one point, obviously a baseball player, singer. I mean, the guy's truly a jack of all trades. Like, I don't think there's anything that man can't do.
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally.
I still remember when Pulley dropped Insects Destroy. Like, I immediately fell in love with that band. The moment I saw that music video and heard that song, I was like, hell yeah, that's killer.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was awesome.
And while we're actually on the topic of performing, do you guys have any up and coming shows? And if so, where can we actually catch you guys next on the stage?
We do, right? We've got a couple lined up. April 5th is the next one.
April 5th.
They're all in San Diego, by the way. So
No.
they're not. Oh, they're not. Oh, that's right. We have a good one in June. Beginning of June, we're playing in Tijuana, downtown Tijuana, which
Revolution.
on Revolution, yeah. So we get from time to time we can go down to TJ and play shows, and it's fun. It's a good time. People go, and if you got a good spot on a weekend night, there's always people out and about. So playing in TJ is always a good time. You walk across the border typically, and they usually backline everything there, so you don't have to bring amps and whatnot. You just bring your instruments and plug in and play. So that one should be fun for sure.
And then June 13th, I think. Is it June 13th?
June 13th, yeah.
Oh, it's San Diego show again.
Tower
Bar. And then we're hopefully going to venture back out to out of state, maybe.
Yeah, I think
Arizona or Washington or something.
Yeah, the plan is to probably get another short tour or two later, midsummer, August, September at some point too, to get out and about some more. So.
And when just going back to Tijuana things for a moment, I actually did not know you guys could actually walk across the border. I mean, I've seen that in movies, but when it comes to Hollywood movies, it's never really believable. So you guys can just walk across the border to Mexico and just vibe over there.
Yeah.
Damn, that's good. That's dope.
It's pretty awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. The tacos are amazing. And the crowds are amazing. They love their punk rock down there.
One of my top 5 shows was a place. What was that?
The Lycanthrope Pub.
Yes, yeah.
The Werewolf Bar.
Crowd surfing in like a little closet of a space.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Awesome. Yeah.
At least if you guys out there in San Diego want some real Mexican food, man, you can just walk across to Tijuana, get yourself some Mexican food, and just walk back to America. Yeah. That's a dream right there.
Yeah, people do it.
Yeah.
And today, you guys are currently signed to Hermosa Beach, California's own Felony Records. I was wondering, how did you guys actually get discovered by Felony? And of course, what is the story behind that record deal?
Yeah, we played a lot of shows with a band called Strike 12, and I'm sure you probably are familiar with them. Just over the course of maybe the last 6 or 7 years, and obviously we became good friends with them. They've had a lot of albums out on Felony Records. Their bassist Joe Treaster, he took a liking to us. And I think when was this? Maybe 2 years ago?
2 years, yeah.
It's been 2 years.
Almost to the date.
But he asked if we were recording an album 2 years ago and that if we wanted to put it out on Felony Records. And obviously we didn't hesitate to say, yeah, that to us, that's kind of like a dream come true. So, so that's basically how it started, all with getting to know Strike 12 and their band and those guys there. Great guys for sure. And making friends with them. And then Felony kind of had another revitalization, and we were glad. We're stoked to be a part of kind of the new set of bands that they've been putting out within the last couple of years.
And also earlier this winter, February 25th, 2025, you guys actually released your most recent 12-track album titled Soapbox Hero. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about your most recently released album.
Yeah, this album was how do you want to say, the labor of love, because we had recorded this album many times. So we'll just say, and maybe that's why it's come out as well as it has. But we put a lot of work into it. We demoed it a bunch, and I think a lot of the lyrics around politics and social topics and things about just learning about yourself kind of all have evolved over the time that we were writing the album in general. And the cool part about taking that long to write an album is that you could really fine tune things like lyrics and like riffs and structure of songs too. So and it all worked out. I mean, it's one of those things, like we've said, like if we were about to release the album outside of Felony, maybe within a couple weeks of them saying something to us, and that gave us more time to really concentrate on what we want the album to sound like. So we kind of went back and re-recorded it again, fine-tuned it, and it came out really well, in our opinion. Like, this is definitely the best sounding album that we've had out of the 7 or 8 that we put out. So, and yeah, it's, with the way things are going in the world today, not to mention names or even get into politics, so the album really revolves kind of around how things are happening and just the current affairs of today too. So we definitely write a lot about those things for sure. And
I got to say, Stealing My Identity is actually my favorite track off favorite track off this album? There's a lot of great songs to actually choose from. Like PBR is another great one. I'm pretty sure it's based upon Pabst Blue Ribbon, obviously, but I mean, it's just a phenomenal record.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And also, I did see on Bandcamp that you guys currently are selling CDs, vinyl packages, and whatnot of this. Are these actually still available? And if so, if you can, tell us your Bandcamp. That way, the people listening at home can actually snag themselves some Soapbox Hero if they haven't already snagged themselves a record.
Yeah, it's all available on our Bandcamp page. If you like vinyl and you're into collecting vinyl, I think there's 4 different variants. There's actually 5 because if you go to a show, we got a different variant for that. But you can go to our Bandcamp page and order it there online, and Felony will ship all that stuff to you. But I think it's punchcard.bandcamp.com, I believe. But if you go to Bandcamp and just search PunchCard, you'll find this, or Felony Records as well. You can go there and find the album will be listed on their Bandcamp page as well.
And other cool bands
as well. There's other cool bands, yes.
And I gotta say, guys, what's next for PunchCard? Like, is there anything we happen to miss during this evening's interview? Anything else you guys do still want to touch on, talk about, or promote? Well, we still got you here live on Punk World Radio tonight.
Yeah, what's next? What's next, Johnny? What do you think?
Playing shows.
Yeah,
playing shows, promoting this album, trying to get people to come out and hear us. Party. I always say, come party with us. It's always a good time. It's so much fun playing live, and the people that you meet. It's all about like the bands and people you meet, and like it's awesome when anybody comes out and just is like, hey, even if they're like, you suck, it doesn't matter. It's awesome to have the experience that have somebody say that to you.
Hey, if they say you suck, guys, they bought a ticket to be there. So I mean, at the end of the day, they bought a ticket just to say you suck. So I mean, they're paying your bills.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, like I said before, if you're looking to get out of San Diego to play a bunch of shows, maybe Arizona, Vegas, Northern California, maybe even further up, to the Northwest, to promote the album, push the album there too as well.
And also, guys, before we actually part ways, I was wondering, how do we actually follow PunchCard across all social media platforms? That way individuals can stay updated on this album and all these up-and-coming shows if they're not already doing so.
Yeah, we're obviously on all the major social media platforms. I think everything is under PunchCard Punk. So if you search that, you'll find us. But yeah, Facebook, Instagram. Hey, we even have a TikTok account. So if you want to go there, we're there posting stuff though. We usually keep up to date with all the stuff that's happening with the band and any extracurriculars that we like to post, at band practice and stuff like that. So, but yeah, we're on all the streaming platform or the social media platforms as PunchCard Punk.
And our Bandcamp is actually on Instagram.
That's it.
There you go.
And I got to say, first and foremost, guys, thank you so much for giving not only myself, but the radio station Airways a bit of your time. It was such an honor speaking with you 3 here tonight. And hopefully down the line, we can make this happen again sometime soon. But for now, have yourselves a phenomenal night out there in San Diego, California.
Right on.
All right, man.
Thanks, man.
Anyway,
Appreciate
thanks
it.
you. Take it easy.
Take it easy.